Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about the third episode of Blood vs. Water, and it was an interesting episode to say the least. Now, to start off, I'm going to be talking about what happened at the Redemption Challenge because quite a bit happened. Now, if you recall, Rachel was voted out last time, so now she is on Redemption Island and she is in the challenge. And if you remember, there's a twist that allows her loved one to switch with her, and that loved one is Tyson. Now, Tyson asked her if she wanted him to switch with her, because he's done it before, and he obviously cares about her. So he gave her the choice, but she declined. She said that he's got a better chance of winning this than she does. So Tyson does not switch with Rachel, and he stands up and says something which kind of confused me, but I think he was saying they better not see him on Redemption Island because he would get them eliminated. I think that's what he was saying. I'm not quite sure though. Now, what I'm going to be talking about next is what really made this part of the episode interesting. Colton, he quit the game. And according to Jeff, it's his second time quitting. I'm not too sure about that. But he still quit the game. Now, I watched the Survivor after show, and Colton kind of gives his side of the story. First of all, he kind of addressed the last time he was on, and the last time he had to leave. He says he didn't quit, but I'm not too sure because he started to say that he was talking to the doctor or whatever after he had left the game this time. But he never said, talked about what she said or anything. So he may have faked, appendicitis is what Jeff said, or he may have actually, felt all that pain because he was in a very good position in One World. So the only reason I can think of him, the only logical thing I can think of for him quitting would be to have souvenirs. That is the hidden immunity idol and his buff, because they probably did not take his buff away. Like this time, he didn't have to burn his buff, so you got to keep that. And so that's the only reason I can think of for him quitting. Anyways, not here to talk about the last time he played. I'm talking about this time that he played. He says that he quit because he knew that he was going to be voted off soon, and if he were to be on Redemption Island, Caleb, his fiance, would switch with him, even if Colton doesn't want that to happen. And Caleb actually has a good chance of winning the game, but he doesn't have that good of a chance of winning on Redemption Island, which, it does make sense, but I don't think Colton was thinking that when he was on the island. I don't know for sure. I must stress that. I don't know for sure, but I feel like those points that he made, which they were pretty good, logical points that he made, but I feel like those are things that he realized he could use to make it seem like he wasn't a quitter. And so I think that he quit due to emotional stuff. I don't know. And then only afterwards he started thinking of how he would tell others why he quit, and so then he came up with those ideas of he quit because Caleb would switch with him if he were on Redemption Island, and Caleb has a better chance of winning the game. But I don't know. I just think that he came up with that after he left, and not while he was on the island. Now, another thing I want to talk about is Marissa getting mad at Brad. She was quite vulgar with him, but it's understandable. He made it seem like he was calling the shots, and he wasn't exactly trying to hide that, really, or at least he didn't make too much of an attempt to not seem like he was calling the shots. My guess is that he wants people to think that he's good at the game, to inflate his ego, because he seems like that kind of guy. He seems like an egotistical guy. Maybe a nice guy, but still egotistical. So now I'm getting on to the actual challenge. They had to stack these domino type things, up an incline and then down and then up and down and I think maybe up one more time. I don't know, but they had to stack them so where they would be like fall like dominoes. But there were also these bars hanging out that if they touched it, they would probably knock over the tiles that they had set up. And so once again, whoever wins first gets to give a clue to the hidden immunity idol to whoever they choose. And once again, Candace, she won first. And then it was between Marissa and Rachel, and it was pretty close, but Marissa came out on top, and Rachel was sent home, and Candace gave the clue to her husband, John, and Rachel and Tyson said their farewells, and back at the camp, or the next scene, I should say, they showed Tyson getting kind of emotional because Rachel was sent home and he wanted her to experience Survivor. Anyways, moving on to the immunity challenge. It was a classic physical challenge where they had these, I don't know what exactly they are. There were these cushion type things, and they have to knock each other off of the platform into the water. First team to 5 wins. Now at first, all the guys on the Loved Ones tribe were beating the guys on the returning players tribe, and there were only 2 girls on the Loved Ones tribe, and there were 4 girls on the returning players, and so the 2 girls from the Loved Ones, Katie and Sierra, they had to go up twice, and Sierra's first little fight was against Kat, and Kat knocked her once and she fell into the water, which was pretty sad. And Katie went up against Laura Bonham, Rupert's wife, and Laura beat her. And then Katie went up against her mom, Tina, and Katie lost, which I was kind of surprised about because Tina is a small person. I don't really know how Katie lost to her. And then Sierra lost to her mom, Laura, which I could kind of see. Laura seems like she kind of seems like a physical person in a good way, not like abusive physical. She seems like a strong person. That's what I'm trying to say. And so I wasn't that surprised when she beat Sierra, but I was surprised when Tina beat Katie. Anyways, moving on. Brad beat Jervis. I was kind of surprised he didn't celebrate when he beat him because, he really does not like Jervis. But he gained some respect from me for not being annoying when he beat Jervis. And then Hayden beat Tyson, and also in that little fight, Tyson hurt his shoulder, which is bad for him, obviously. And then, who else? It was John versus Eris, and John won that. So like I said, the guys were winning and everything. And then the only guy to lose on the Loved Ones tribe was Vitas. He was facing his brother Eris, and Eris was beating him pretty good, and then Eris gave him a second chance. He's like, look, we'll start over, get up, get over there, and then we'll go at each other. But while Eris had his back towards Vitas, Vitas came after him and attacked, and Ares managed to knock him into the water, which I was happy about because it was a cheap shot. But Vitas didn't feel like he would win anyway, so he had to go for it. So I'm not really blaming him, though I was happy that he didn't win. Anyways, the return players win, and the loved ones once again have to go to tribal council. Now, before that, John shares the second clue with Brad, but he doesn't want to look for the idol with Brad. And Brad thinks that's kind of shady, but John said he didn't want to do it because then people would know that they're together, that they're close. And John said that Brad said that he thought it was shady, which I thought was stupid of him to say because he knows the clue. He can go out and search for the idol himself. But he decides instead to get John out. He wants to vote John out, so he tells everyone else to vote for John. And which I just think is stupid because John trusted him enough to give him the clue, but Brad thinks that if Candace comes back, then John will no longer follow orders from Brad. He would follow them from Candace, his wife. But it's like everyone has loved ones, so why would any of them stay with you? Why would any of them stay with Brad if they get together with their loved ones? So he could have just gotten really anybody out for that reason. Maybe not Vitas because they're brothers and everything. And Caleb doesn't have Colton anymore. But pretty much he could have gotten rid of any one of them for those reasons. Now the guys weren't too keen on getting John out because they realized that Brad is kind of a threat, sort of. Maybe not, but he certainly portrays himself as a threat. Now, one of the things I thought was stupid of Brad to say was he was gonna vote for Sierra. That way, just in case John gets back into the game, John wouldn't be mad at him. Which, I was like, why would you tell everybody that? That is, like, the dumbest thing you could do. So they go to tribal council. John votes for Sierra, and everybody votes for John. And John is out. And then, when he's on Redemption Island, he's talking to Candace, and he's like, well, this is good, at least we're together. And then Candace and Marissa were both like, that is not good. That's not good. Which I thought was funny, because Candace and Marissa, they seem to have bonded somewhat, which is understandable, because they've been there since the first challenge, so they're probably pretty close. And then in the scene that they showed for next week's episode, it gets interesting because Candace just isn't a big fan of Brad, which is understandable because John was close to Brad and he trusted Brad, and Brad stabbed him in the back viciously. And so there's more hate for Brad, and it's kind of funny because Brad is making himself too much of a target. He's not really all that bright, and I don't think he's going to get far. I think, well, when I say far, I mean like Final 3. That's what I mean by far. I don't think he's going to get into the Final 3. He might, but he's definitely not going to win. Because he's not really all that smart, and not a smart player. But he may be around for a while because others may see him as a big target, so they want him to take all the bullets for them, so that that won't get voted out, but he will, which is kind of understandable, but at the same time it's stupid, because if you're thinking that at one point, then other people will also think that the next week, and that week, when everyone else is thinking to keep him, they might vote you out. So sometimes you just gotta get rid of targets when you can, instead of keeping them around. Anyways, guys, I hope you liked this recap/reaction video. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more of my beautiful and charming face, and comment down below who you want to win, who you want to win redemption. I really don't know that. I personally don't know who I want to win redemption because, I mean, it's Candace versus John. And I also like Marissa, so I don't really want any of them to go. But maybe I would like Candace and Marissa to win. Because, I don't know, I just like them. Anyways, guys, I hope to see you again later. Bye.